Okay, vamos, let's go. My name is Chris Dawson. I live in Honolulu, Hawaii. I actually live on the north shore of Oahu. And I'm really proud to be here. My family goes back to the beginning of Hawaii, to the very beginning. We're in 𝗨𝗨𝗪𝗏 at the La Angelica development, and this is the Hawaii Polo Life barn. It's an honor to be here with 𝗨𝗨𝗪𝗏. And I think that anybody that is serious about polo has to come to Argentina. The Argentine horses, players, and organization is the very best in the world. So it's a real statement and an achievement to say that I have a horse training and breeding operation here in Argentina. But it's a very big statement to say we are here at 𝗨𝗨𝗪𝗏 and Cañuelas. Hawaii for me is my home. It's my heart and it's my home. I've had the privilege, the honor, and the responsibility to represent Hawaii wherever I go, and to do it authentically. So when I was a little boy, about 3 years old, I discovered horses, and they were the most magical creatures I ever saw in my life. And I fell in love when I was 3 years old with the horse, and it's a love affair that has stayed with me my entire life. I was lucky because my mother, her Hawaiian family came from a Hawaiian gaucho, Hawaiian cowboy, 𝗰cie Paniolo. Her family roots was cowboys and horses and ranching. And she made sure as a little boy she would expose me to that lifestyle. And it stayed with me forever. Right about when I was in university is when I discovered polo. And polo has been that one thing in my life that has stayed constant. I went to San Diego State University and surfed on the surf team and enjoyed surfing in California. I didn't study too much, but I learned enough. See, there's so many people, but I have to give really my start was at the Honolulu Polo Club on the island of Oahu, in the city of Honolulu. And I started there. But what I didn't know is that my uncle was the president. And I didn't know till years later, he was my uncle. He is a very strong man, military general. And I found out later that he was my distant uncle. And today we're super close in polo and in life. You know, it's really interesting being, I'm Hawaiian, but I'm also American. And I'll actually go to this point right here. I met Adolfo from 𝗏𝗏𝗪𝗏. And 𝗏𝗏𝗪𝗏 is a really important American patron. He built Valiente, and he hired Adolfo to build that organization. And I was so fortunate to be part of that. And in Hawaii, we were really struggling with organization. And I went to Bob and asked, actually, I went to Robert Tito, his manager, and said, would they consider organizing my barn, my operation in Hawaii? And they talked about it, and they came back and they said yes. And so at that time, it was 2018, J5 Equestrian was managing Valiente, Colorado, 𝗨𝗨𝗪𝗏's operations in the United States and Hawaii. And it really was a big turning point to me to understand how big the organization is and all of the details that are involved in running polo. It's very military, it's very precise. There's a lot of moving parts. And it's said, and I believe it's very true, that you win in the barn before you win on the polo field. It's all about the organization. So all of those elements had a profound effect on how I viewed the organization of polo. I think all of us in our own way, we try to copy Adolfo the way he plays, Adolfo the way he thinks, Adolfo the way he organizes, Adolfo the way he breeds. We all try to copy it in our own way. So that's how my influence of polo was. It really was 𝗏𝗏𝗪𝗏. And to answer the question directly, I was really fortunate when they lent me 𝗪𝗂𝗍𝗔, the sister of Delphina is his wife, and Diego is the sister. And I've had an extraordinary relationship with the 𝗂𝗍 family and also with the Kavanaugh family. But they came in and they organized everything and changed everything, and it made a very big difference in terms of my ability to enjoy the game. The more organized we are, the safer it is. So to make one phone call, handle it, keep everything organized, keep it very safe, was perfect. So I give a lot of gratitude to 𝗪𝗂𝗍𝗔. You know, I think that I had an extraordinary life. I have a very blessed life in that I grew up in Hawaii surfing, but I loved horses. And so I created this brand, Hawaii Polo Life. And the idea of the brand was a fusion of ocean culture with polo, as I see it in Hawaii. So ocean polo culture, Hawaii centric. The idea behind the brand was that if we sell some t-shirts and some hats, it supports our association, the Hawaii International Polo Association. That was the idea, was to share our unique perspective of polo. We get to play polo and then jump in the ocean in Hawaii. It's a pretty unique scenario, see? So I'm happy to share that with the world. Whenever we talk about Hawaii Polo Life, it is that fusion of ocean and polo. Firstly, that horse logo found me. It was a gift to a friend of mine's father, and it was made by a famous Japanese artist they have a very unique brush style. So that art became mine, and I made that art the logo. The reason why I picked specifically that horse is that when you surf a really big wave, it's like playing fast polo. It's very fluid, super fluid. So the similarities between polo and big surfing is the same. Big polo, higher rated polo, bigger waves, super fluid. And it was very appropriate to use that horse. There's an old biblical saying, too much is given, much is expected. Hawaii's played polo since 1880. We actually were playing polo under our last kingdom, our last king. We started playing polo 7 years before the United States. So when I think of Hawaii, I think of Hawaii as the Hawaiian kingdom. I don't think of it as a part of the United States. It is its own international, very iconic location. And at the time, it was a sovereign kingdom. And in my heart, it is still a sovereign kingdom. When I started to play polo, and there's another famous quote, Winston Churchill, a polo handicap is the passport to the world. And in my case, coming from Hawaii is the truth. It is, I've met the most extraordinary people. I've been all over the world, but I always get to go back to Hawaii. So Hawaii is my home. I love the ocean, and then I get to explore the world through the lens of polo. It's absolutely incredible. My story and my journey to promote Hawaii started when I was on the United States Polo Association. I was on the board for many years. And when I first became on the board of the United States Polo Association, the first thing I did is I went back and I looked at Hawaii and to check, well, what is the health of the polo clubs? How many polo clubs are in Hawaii? Are they growing? Are they flat? Are they in a decline? What is the situation in Hawaii? And I was very concerned that, like most polo clubs, they're flat or declining. That was the first thing I discovered. The second thing I discovered was that this history goes all the way back to our last king. So Hawaii is an incredibly iconic location. You say Hawaii, people all smile. They have this idea of Hawaii. Maybe they've never been there, but they have this idea of Hawaii. And I really wanted to remind people that we played polo going all the way back to 1880, and we were playing polo in Hawaii. It just was an incredible time as a kingdom playing polo. The brand is a passion project. You know, the goal of the brand was to create a platform to tell a story. if we can sell some t-shirts and we can sell some hats, or we do some collaboration with other brands, it's just to continue to tell the same story that I'm telling you about polo going all the way back to the first kingdom of Hawaii. For me, this is about the past, the present, and the future. And we talked a little bit about this. The past is a very unique story, not just about polo going back to the last kingdom, but to our first kingdom and our first king, King Kamehameha, being the first nation to support Argentina's independence. That friendship between Hawaii and Argentina goes back over 200 years. And most people don't know this story, so I'm really excited to talk about the friendship between Hawaii and Argentina. Over the years, so many Argentines have come to Hawaii to either surf or play polo. It's amazing when I go to the association dinner last night, how many people have come to Hawaii and visited Hawaii. So the first part is the past. Our friendship goes back over 200 years. The present is right now. This is all about Adolfo passing the torch to Poroto. This is such a historic moment with the finals coming up. We're all cheering for Adolfo, we're cheering for his legacy, and most importantly, we're cheering for Poroto. So that's the right now, that's the present. The future is Poroto, what he represents in the evolution of polo, the legacy he represents and the evolution of polo. So it's interesting, when I am having interviews, the questions always are directed at me on the past, the present, and the future. Well, in my own way, I've been fortunate enough to be brought into the La Delfina organization, to be part of the Cambiasso family, which I've referred to as, in our modern times, that's the first family of polo with what they're doing. I'm sponsoring Poroto, I'm sponsoring Mia, and I'm supporting Adolfo. And for me, the most important reason to support Adolfo is I'm supporting another father. I have an 8-year-old son, and he's coming up very quickly. He likes to surf, he likes to play polo, he likes jiu-jitsu. He's all boy. And so when I'm helping them, I know that I'm also laying down the tracks for my son and other Hawaii kids that are going to follow my son, hopefully to Argentina. We had this opportunity. We were here last year, and they wanted to sell 8 lots around a beautiful polo field here in La Delfina. And they wanted to offer it first to the team owners. 𝗂𝗵𝗄 was the one that offered me this barn. And when they wanted to sell me that lot, and I said, no, 𝗂𝗵𝗄, I want to buy your barn. So he chuckled, he laughed, and he said, okay, bueno, I'll sell you this barn. It's a 40-horse barn. There's groom's quarters in the back, and there's going to be owner's quarters in the front on a polo field. 8 owners' barns around a single polo field in the middle of La Delfina. Pilon lives right there. You know, Adolfo lives right over there. It's interesting to see how this area is blowing up Cañuelas. La Natividad is right around the corner, right? And the story of Poroto and the boys over there, Camilo and Heta, Barto Comet, it's amazing. This is a growth area for the next generations. My plan is to be here. If you are going to be serious about polo, you need to come to Argentina. If you're lucky enough to be in Cañuelas with one of these families or one of these bigger organizations, better yet. So it's my plan to bring young players to this barn to be exposed to the Argentine style of polo, to breed horses here. The good ones will either compete in the Argentine Triple Crown, Tortugas, Hurlingham, and the Open. The others will go to Florida to compete there. The horses that age out in Florida, we're going to donate them back to Hawaii. So we have a plan for the horses, and we also have a plan for future generations. Muchas gracias for everybody coming in to watch this historic moment with Adolfo and Poroto and to see the legacy that he's leaving behind. And I can simply say, vamos La Delfina.